Welcome to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day to talk about a very, very interesting subject that has caused a lot of controversy over the years with me and some of the parents that came to me and got very angry. Some parents embraced it and understood it and worked forward with their child. It's not just within children, it's within everybody, to be honest. We all have it. I have it. My son has it. And we're labelled, and when we're labelled something, it's basically the most powerful way to capture an audience and sell them something. So every time you're labelled a certain issue or problem, or as the medical industry loves to label you as a sickness, illness, or disease, if they can get you into a box, then hey presto, what shall we give you now? Take it because you better. And if you don't, well, just one of those things, eh? This is all we can offer you. Be patient though. Yes, that's right. That's why you call it patient, because you better be patient. And we're going to practice on you. There's a reason why it's called a practice. But people don't get it. They don't see it. They just don't. So what am I talking about today? Took a while, didn't it? But it's an illusion. It's called ADHD. I don't even know what it means. And I have no interest in the abbreviation and tell me what it means. Nothing. It's all BS. It's all disorders. It's all you've got a problem, you've got an issue, you've got a disease, it's with you for life. And I guess once the magic white coat tells you you are, then you believe that and create it, and it's always with you for the rest of your life. And it's programmed into all of us, unfortunately, and it's very hard to deprogram, unlearn. It's very hard. So let's start at the beginning. I can give you probably 100 different scenarios of clients coming to me with their children saying that their child has got ADHD. So the first thing I would say to them is, can we start by saying something positive? Like what, Mark? Like your child is beautiful, healthy, and well, and there is no problem at all. Oh, okay. All right. Second thing I'd like to do is ask you if you would lie down and allow me to give you a healing session. But I'm not the problem. Oh, really? Oh, right then, yeah, okay. Let's not look at ourselves. What do you mean, me? Yeah. So, if I was to tell you this is the truth. For every parent or parents that came to me with a child with an issue, I would say 90% of the time it was their parents who needed the healing. Now, if you take that word ADHD and stuff it down a guy in a white brainwashed brain mouth, just stuff it back into them, right? And push it out of the way. Just say, get away. Get away with that riddling. Get away with them drugs. Get away with all of that. I'm not having my child walking around like a zombie. Just get away. And actually, parents who do, well, maybe you're a bit lazy. Oof. Oof. Now he's gone. That's it. I've had enough of this guy. Yeah. One of the things that is practically impossible is homeschooling. I get it completely. And the other thing is to put a child into basically something that they weren't born to go into, which is a prison for controlling, manipulating a beautiful, healthy, spiritual, pure child to be ripped apart in so many ways. So you've got three aspects, main aspects. We're going deep now, okay? We've got three main aspects of this so-called issue. But let me again just go back a little bit. After I've shoved those letters down his throat, I now look at you and say to you as a mum and dad, now you've taken those letters away, change them to a beautiful, highly sensitive child. That's something you should be proud of, because that means that your child is powerful, intuitive, amazing, uncontrollable to a degree, in the sense of, you need to explain to them things without saying, just do it because I said so. Yeah, but why? Stop asking. Look, explain to your child, because wouldn't you want things explaining to you? See, these are the things that I try and teach parents, but they don't like it, you see. So, yeah. So now you know you've got a sensitive child, which you probably already know. What's going on? Well, the three things are, well, the first one is what you're feeding your child. The second one is how you're behaving in your environment at home. And thirdly, it's where do you take your child when the child is out of home, which is predominantly the brainwash programming building called school. So these are the three main considerations that you need to look at now to change or to make good. The problem is, when you don't take your child to a brainwashing building all day, which you've got to understand this wholeheartedly, when all beings of this world are born, they're born into a world of adventure, into a world of Mother Earth that connects you to your higher self. You're born in a world of freedom to be able to be and run around, and just simply ask yourself this question. When you were at school, what was the most beautiful point of being at school? You would probably look back and say, I remember when that bell rang and I went outside and we were playing whatever and running around and enjoying ourselves. That's right. But when you're back into a programmed brainwashing facility, something happens. Something terrible happens to the soul and the brain. The soul is screaming out saying, this is a lie. This is a prison. This is uncontrollable feelings. That's why children start to lose themselves and start to shake. And even you probably do it now. Look at your leg when you're sat down. Is your knee jumping up and down like this? Like this? If it is, you've probably got the same issue. And that probably means that you've allowed time to take over. You've only got so much time in a certain amount of time to be able to finish a project, or you haven't got enough time. You want to get somewhere where you need to be, and before you know it, you're in that energy of a child being in a programmed building that can't wait to get out, and then knows that it's looking at the clock. Or like me, I would run to the nearest chair next to a window so that I didn't need to look at the miserable faces of teachers who hated their jobs and hated kids, and without knowing, they were abusive and they were talking dribble and nonsense, and all of this means nothing because it's all a lie, because history is a lie, so all you're teaching is lies. Well, the soul, the spirit, the consciousness knows truth and lies, and when it hears lies, it struggles to have to listen to that lie. So everything that you're being given is a lie constantly. None of it is meaningful. So of course, You're abusing a child when you put a child into this programmed building where these people who are programmed are trying to program your child. And if you do not conform to the program, then they're going to be punished or mocked and ridiculed or deemed uncontrollable. You see, it's one big abuse center. So, yes, you can see slowly but surely, as time has gone from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s and onwards, there's more and more of this scream for help within the physical body, because it's the physical body that is affected so badly, coupled with all the new food colorings, the Smarties, the M&Ms, all the crap that is in the supermarkets, which is non-foods. You add that together, and then you add the same thing as going home and listening to two parents either ignoring each other or saying stupid things and getting mad or doing things that may affect a sensitive child. And you've got a recipe for something that is a disaster across the whole of the world. And I slowly saw this growing and growing. How did I help? Crystals help children a lot. Green kyanite was a very, very powerful crystal for kids with ADHD, but there's loads of crystals that help. Why? Because it blasts an energy that heals the physical body and also tends to clear deep trauma. So any crystals that you find that help clear deep trauma or bring a child into a balanced state is a beautiful thing for them to have or sleep around. Oils are very important to children that are sensitive. So rubbing oils on them, playing nice music, keeping away from this black screen, because that does nothing but aggravate and cause more deeper stress and more zombified energy, like Ritalin and all the rest of the poisons that they give them. So all of these things are non-human in the sense of none of these are healing. So of course Mother Earth is so important. You need to take your child out, let them climb trees, let them ride bikes in parks, give them give them that so that they can release this trapped trauma energy within them from day to day from programming buildings and being at home with parents that might be a little bit challenging to live with. Ask yourself, would you like to see yourself would you like to be a child looking at you and your partner, watching, seeing what's happening every day? They know everything that you're thinking, everything that you're saying. They know when you're happy, when you're not happy. Would you like to just swap around? Just put yourself in your child's boots and they're seeing and feel everything. Do you really think that that's going to be non-trauma? Do you think that they're happy? You might turn around and say, actually, we have a great relationship. Then I say, well, that's one thing you've got right then. If you really truly believe it and you and your partner are really happy and you're doing your best and you're not stressed every day, then well done. That's one of the things. So the second thing you need to do is focus on food being medicine, because everything that you feed your child is either feeding them this illness, which is causing an issue to the body, which the body cannot repair itself, because you're not giving your child the necessary medicine. So a lot of the times, if you can look at natural forms of like things like magnesium and vitamins and minerals, lots of minerals, all of this kind of stuff, natural stuff though, natural, okay? You're looking for natural things. Every fruit and vegetable is a healing process, but some of the great things for ADHD, which is BS, all BS, but for your child to strengthen themselves, some of the foods which are fantastic, that I found fantastic, are fruits. So I found that feeding your children good, healthy, non-GMO fruits is fantastic. Organic vegetables is fantastic. So these are the things that you have to learn to work with and see what feels right for your child. Let them feel them, let them work with them, let them cut them, let them become one with fruit. Either going to Mother Earth and let them pick apples and eat them and things like that. Bring, even going to a pick your own strawberry farm and things like that. Bring them back to nature, what we were born to do. Same with seeds, nuts. Look at all of these things which are natural. Also wonderful. Roots. Look at roots. Roots are great because it grounds them. So these are the things that are healthy, healing and grounding. The other thing is what you can look at too is parasites. So find parasite cleansers. That's always a fantastic thing that I found over these past few years, which is vital to helping your children, especially if you've been feeding them sugar. Okay, so they're bound to be filled with parasites in their mind. Clear the parasites from the mind. Look at gut, cleaning the gut out, parasite cleanse, but also the mind. So good teas to clear the brains of parasites. These are also fantastic tips that can help you along your journey. You can't teach a child to meditate, but you can look towards things that will slow them down. Jigsaws being one of them. Finding things that slow them down is a wonderful thing to do. And like I said, nice music, nice environment in your house will help so much. I can't tell you to take your child out of a brainwashing building. I can't do that. But maybe you can look at counteracting that by saying, tonight when you come home, there's a special surprise. We're going to do something wonderful. That takes away the boredom and the it's not just brainwashing. It's like you're being tortured at school. It's like a torture. And when you're being tortured, what happens to victims is they have a kind of, eventually there's a flick, there's that flick, and it tries to counteract the torture. And that's why they'll say that the child's disruptive, and this, no, they're not disruptive, they just know that they shouldn't be there, and this isn't why I was born. This is not why I came into this world. And most people who say I'm depressed, you're not depressed. It's just that you're not fulfilling your true spiritual journey and destiny in life. So I don't know. The Spirit says, what are you doing? And then you feel depressed because you don't know what you're doing, because nobody's ever taught you to actually have the courage to be able to follow what feels right. That's why most people are ill. And what they do is they follow the wrong things. Idols, they follow Gucci, Armani, they follow everything which is wrong, following that this is what I should do in life. What's that? Get to the top of the chain of a big company and then what? Drop down dead? Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Great idea. So we're being programmed to do something that we were not meant to do. We weren't born to do those things. So there is a kind of mechanism in children that tries to help the physical body from going gurkwhack, going crazy, losing their marbles. So you're bound to have a reaction in the body. And it's funny how the body will react to try and help it through going through suffering. Just like if you put somebody in prison, they go through this suffering and then something happens to them in prison, and it's like, so it's the same thing. You have to be extremely careful when you get to the point of walking into one of those big, greedy, profit-making buildings where they're just going to throw things down your throat, so your child ends up being a walking zombie with glazed eyes, and then that will turn to, if it's rattling, it'll turn to depression normally, it'll turn to even worse. Everything that is natural is the best thing. When you eat an apple, it's healthy, it makes you feel better. When you're swallowing poisons, which are cause effect of all of the pain and suffering that comes thereafter, there's no win situation with that. So the medication is fruit and vegetables and all that Mother Earth gives us. That's to me is the most healthy and natural way forward. It's it's probably something that if I did a workshop on, I could probably do a 2.5, 3 day workshop on this. What I share with you is maybe 20, 30 minutes of sound bites of everything that I've learned through children that have gone through this pain. On a final note, pure energy healing is a fantastic technique to be able to help children move forward, to be able to help children clear that suffering which is inside them, that mechanism that's done something that's caused this deep rooted trauma, and it helps clear that away. So I used to work on thousands of children with a so-called issue which is called apparently ADHD, which I don't believe in at all. It's just once you start giving healing in a way that you work in two special places, and that is the heart and the mind. If you work on them two places, you'll find that you will clear that trauma. Then after a while, you'll start moving down to the stomach, and you'll find, anybody who's a healer will understand this, the first port of call with a child that's got this energy that is for me, this is the sign of a cry for help, right? It's so obvious. Well, this isn't normal. No, it's not, because the child is not in a normal environment. So this child is super sensitive, like many other children are not that sensitive, so they don't go through that. When they're super sensitive, they go through that, and this is a cry for help. So what we're doing now is acknowledging that something's not right in their home, what they eat, and what they do spend during the day. Okay, so it makes sense, or does it? You might be laughing and saying this guy's a nutter, but from my perspective as a healer, all over the world, traveling all over the world, helping thousands upon thousands of men, women, and children get through painful issues where no man in a white coat could help, and that basically washed their hands and just threw them these drugs like they were Smarties, and then it's my turn. Okay, we've given up hope on this so-called system that is meant to be helping our children, when actually, fact, it's the system that causes the issue. There you go, and that's the truth. This is food for thought. Okay, this is food for thought. As a mother and father, I can tell you this is a fact. 20 years ago, there was a couple who came to spend 4 days with me. They wanted to understand how I helped their child for 7 days. And I said, it's called pure energy healing. We learn to clear the trauma. We learn to get that energy and clear it. And normally it takes 7 days, but depending on what you're going to do after that 7 days, depends on whether that child goes back to the same energy. So they said, well, it's very difficult because we both have full-time jobs. I said, okay, I understand that. We've now changed the diet, which is, we can see a massive improvement. Schooling, we've taken them out and brought them to a new school, which was, what was the name of that school? It's a school that teaches in a completely different way. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a few around the world, a few in England and all over. You're going to remember it more than me. It's a bit like the Green School in Bali. It's just a new technique of sharing and anyway. So they did that, and the final part of what they want to do, this is what's called great parents who unlearn all what they were taught and are willing to take time and effort to make a difference in their child's life, because they knew that if they continued doing what they were doing, the child was going to get slowly worse and worse, and that was beautiful. So yes, I gave them a healing to begin with, which then opened them up to understand that the most important thing in life is bringing their child up so that their child can have a good start, and what they were doing wasn't a good start because the child was reacting, of course. Oh, it's ADHD. No, it's not. Your child's reacting to something that they feel that they're being abused. Okay, so they changed their life after a healing session and then started to implement themselves as looking after each other as husband and wife, taking care of each other, kissing and loving each other, holding each other, having a family group hug. These things that I was sharing that could help, which did help. But the final piece was, after feeding healthy food, changing the full diet, after loving each other more and bringing a bond back between each other so that the child then can see love and feel supported and feel like this is the mum and dad that I wanted to come into this world for. This is the love that I needed. This is the love I feel confident and the strength grows. If your mum and dad's fighting, then you're going to feel bad. How many times did you feel bad as a kid when your mum or your dad started screaming at your mum? It's traumatic. So you're trying to heal yourself from that trauma. Imagine every day if you're seeing this with a husband and wife. I say, you know what? If you two can't love each other, just split up because it's going to be better for the child. No, it's not. It's a trauma for the child. Let me tell you, it's more traumatic for a child living in a house with two parents who don't love each other, who pretend to love each other. Oh, we're just staying together for the child. Do me a favor, split now and enjoy your life. Find somebody to love. And as soon as that happens, your child will be happy because they can see love, because they're not seeing love in this house. So then there's a lack of love in the child. How can you love a child if you don't love yourself and love your partner? So when all that was done with this beautiful couple, okay, and they came from Norway, beautiful couple, the last thing they wanted to do is learn how I actually helped heal their child for 7 days, because in them 7 days, it's a 7-day seed of light that you put in through the energy that's around you, and that child was fine for 7 days. And I said, okay, well, this is how we do it. So we spent 4 days in the Pure Energy Healing Academy learning pure energy healing. So that was 4 days of magic. They took that away with them, and from then on they would give their child healing sessions, one night, one another night, and the child would never say no to a healing session, whether it was 5 minutes, half an hour. The child sometimes fell asleep and asked for the healing session. You see, it's a bonding thing. When you heal somebody, you're bonding with them. That's why I didn't have clients, I had friends. They became personal friends. Even to this day, I have thousands of personal friends who, after a healing session, they feel it. They know there's something that, it's a beautiful thing. So that's my understanding. First of all, heal yourself, love your partner. Food, let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. Environment within the home and within the building that programs children. You need to find some other alternative in some way. Homeschool or change schools, find a good teacher, make sure the teacher's good. And these are the things that I would, you can't do that, you can't say anything at school. Well, then there you go then. Not what you can do then, is there? If you're not willing to fight for your child, if you're not willing to work at it, then there you go. That's the way it is. And yeah, pure energy healing or any healing course that you can find is going to be great and really helpful to the child. So on a final note, I guess it's a good introduction into the 6th, 7th and 8th and 9th 4 days of pure energy healing. That is my next pure energy healing course. You can do it at home, just take 4 days off and be part of this amazing course. And you'll find that you'll be able to use this technique on your children and your partner and yourself. And it's incredible. And then you'll be able to see the change in the whole of the family and your child. I have seen children that supposedly were filled with modern day medicines, totally finished, gone, to the point where within 6 weeks you can see the change and the strength and the child coming back, because the physical body was starting to heal again, because it takes time. And as that physical body heals because of all the good things that you do, all the positive things that you do, all the healthy things that you do, all the real foods that you put in, you start to see the change, because the physical body is an amazing tool, is an amazing thing, and it can heal and it can replenish, it can change all the cells, it replenishes everything. So, and like I said, with pure energy healing or with healing techniques, you can clear that trapped trauma very easily. So there are ways, and mine isn't the only way. It's just one of the ways that I understood through my 2 decades of learning to help people through this type of deep trauma, which is abuse of a system that basically is absolutely pushing us towards becoming sick and ill, as we all know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Look at the world. How many people are fit and healthy? Look at all the health ministers. Give me a break. Excuse me. Yeah, I think you're going the wrong way. Health is that way. Sorry, you're the health minister. I'm not being judgmental, but oh my God, you're making choice decisions and you're eating McDonald's. You're eating 5 McDonald's a day. You're just stuffing things into it and you're making health decisions for the rest of the world. Is it just me, or is everything back to front, the wrong way around, inside out? Yes, it is, because the system is that way. It isn't pure love. It's pure evil by all shape and form. Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So anyway, guys, love you all. I'll leave the link below. Hopefully I'll see you on the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th to change your life and your children's life. The Pure Energy Healing Academy 4-day course. You will end up with a beautiful certificate. Do what you will with it, but you will also end up with the knowledge of how to help heal those that you love. Have a great day. Take care.